Hi guys, so today we'll be doing the load balancer task, and the first thing is that we're going to ask for new servers. So you ask for a server and ask for another server, and then we go to the task. We create this directory inside our system level DevOps, system engineering DevOps. So make directory, this directory, and then we seed into the directory. That's gonna Oh, sorry, I didn't copy it. I made the wrong directory. Remove the directory this. So make directory. Didn't I copy it? Uh, this. Okay. And I'll seed into the directory. So I will create my readme and echo this into my readme empty, and then since our server is pending here. Okay, so basically what I'll do is I'll try and SSH automatically into these servers, right? And what I do is I'll go back into my um, home directory, and then from there I'll go to into my .ssh. Okay, and then I will vi this config file there. Yeah, the config file. So I will just add this to it and say, let me give it space and then say my host. I'll call this one web02, web02, and the host name. The host name will be the IP, this second IP address. The port is 22, and then the user is Ubuntu. Ubuntu. Let me give it a tab then, right? Let's see. Okay, and Ubuntu, and this one Ubuntu. So I can copy this for, and I'll paste it here, and I'll call this one LBO1, LBO1, and then the host name is 54 54 167 167 101 167 again. Sorry, 54 167 89. I was looking at something else. 89 202. Yeah, so this one 54 167 89 202. Good. So quadrant 2 and that, yes. So since we have this, I'll go back to where I was coming from, and yes, so we have that, so I can easily SSH into those servers. So the next thing I'm going to do is this task, and I will create this zero custom HTTP header. So we want to create a custom HTTP header for this task, and what that is saying is on our load balancer. First is that we just got this web server. On our load balancer server, we need to configure the default and make sure that there is a head on it, right? There's an header on it. No, on this one, not on our load balancer. That should be on this. Then we'll create the header on it that says, okay, let's see. In the first task, you need to configure web 02 to be identical to web 01. So we need to first configure web 02 to be identical to web 01. Let me scroll back here. Let me just save this one. Okay. So we need to configure web 02 to be identical to web. Fortunately, you build a bash script during this project, so you need to come in handy to easily configure. Remember, always try something new to do. Since we are placing our web server behind a load balancer for this project, we want to add a custom nginx response header. So we want to add this response header, the custom one. The goal here is to be able to track which web server is answering our request. To understand this task, the way a load balancer works more in coming tasks. Okay, so configure nginx so that its HTTP response contains a custom header. Okay, sorry, contains a custom header. Where is this? The name of the, yes, and so the custom header will be web 01 and web 02. The name of the custom HTTP header must be except by, and the value of the custom header should be host name of the server, blah 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 blah. So coming load balancer. So what we'll do is we want a bash script that will be able to run on um, web 01 and web 02, right? So this bash script is basically for web 01 and web 02. So the bash script will be based on what we've done before on web 01, that automatically install nginx, do the redirection, and do the error 404 page redirection as well. And also we now have to add a custom header to the default. So normally if I SSH into my web 01, okay, well SSH into that, let it load. Okay, so it has loaded, and if I vi my etc nginx sites available and default, right? So I just want to add this place to it and say exit end, and say add header except by. So I want to add header named except by, as you can see, and then the value of the custom header will be the host name of the server nginx is running on. So the value will now be the host name. The host name will be generated this way: host name, and then I'll add this. So with this is what I want to add. So I'll just copy the former command and then add a command that would automatically add this to the script. Okay, so that's what I wanted to do. So that's basically it. Let me see, sudo service nginx restart. It works. And so if I call dash s dash is this my this computer, so you can see it had except by, and then the name of my web 01, right? Except by, and then this, and then so it added it to the header. So I just want to add write a script that would install nginx and also add that header to it. Okay, so that's what I want to do here. So what I would do is I can copy from the former one and see if that's going to work. Mm, what I'm gonna do is that, so, or I could say there's this one I have somewhere from the former one. The former one would be in our server, web server. So I can see it into web server, or I think I have one cd into users, cd into users, not that. Let me see, ls cd root. I'm coming. Cd into home, ls. So cd okay, good. Yes. cd into web server. So go to your web server OXOC. Okay, so if you haven't done the web server tags, you can check the video I made on it. And then we just need this 404. That's the last one. So I'll copy the 404 redirection, 404 not found, and then I'll send it to my cd, my home directory. From home directory, ALX system engineering develops and OXOF load balancer. So I will then cd into my system develops OXOF back, and good. So we have that 404, right? So I just want to cut 404. I could have even cut it from there, the 4 not found, into my 0, right? And then let me remove the 4 now. So this is the last part for the configuration we did. So yes, so this is it. We update our apt-get, we installed nginx, we make a directory called html, right? In our etc nginx html, and then we create an index.html file. We echo hello world not Overton school. So let me just, you can change this one to hello world. So you echo hello world into it, and also you create your 404. You echo this because this is what is given into our 404, and then I use sed here in the video. So this is another option in the video I did on the web server. So this is another option you could try out and see, which is the printf percent s. That is, we want to print a string, and then the string will be, all this would be every configuration that you want to be in the site available defaults that we went to. So all we need to do is just come to this side and add the except by. So let me put 2 spaces here, and then come back here and tab, and then back space. Let me just use this one. So add underscore header, and then it's going to be x saved by, right? And then our host name, right? And then I'll end it this way, and that's all we need to do for this one. So I will change the mode 755 for this. I think that's that. So now we need to install it on our web O2 server as well. So I can just automate that. So I can do secure copy, and in this directory, I want to move this guy to my web O2 server. So I'll say to my Ubuntu. So what's my web O2 IP address? I'll copy this guy and then paste it, and then put this 167, and then put this, and then say I want it to go to my home directory, and then I'll press enter. So that's yes. So it's adding that because this is the first time I'm doing that. So so it has uploaded. So I'll SSH into my web O2, and then I'm in. Then I have this. Then I will just run this guy on the server. So I think let me cut it first so you can see. So it's still the same thing we have, right? So sudo run the so we want to run it, and then it's going to install nginx, do the remaining stuff for us, and I think that's it. Configure nginx so that its http response contains this header, the name of the custom header of this, and then the value of the http header of the host name. Write this so that it configure a brand new Ubuntu machine to the requirement asked in the task. Ignore shell check. So that's what we want to do. Since we are placing our load balancer behind a load balancer for this project, we need to add a custom nginx. So the reason why custom nginx is because we'll be having let me see, there's going to be a load balancer. Let me see. So when the computer hits the load balancer, right? So the load balancer will decide which of our web O1 or web O2 is sending it to. So if we send it to web O1 and web O1 respond, since web O1 header will be returning its name, so we know that it's web O1 that returned, and since web O2 will be returning its own unique name, we know that web O2 responds. So we want to know if our load balancer is actually sending the request to these two simultaneously. You see, so that's the major thing why we're adding the first one. And yeah, so while that is running, we need to make it run so that, because ALX has to check if our script ran, if our this guy is running well or something. So they will test it this way and see if it has this SAP pipe. So like we did, this one is working. So let's just wait for that. So I'm still waiting for this one to finish up. So in this one, we have to install and configure HAProxy or HAProxy on the load balancer server. So this one is for the load balancer server now. So we'll go to the load balancer, we install this guy, we'll configure HAProxy so that it sends traffic to Webo 1 and Webo 2. So we'll configure its front end to send message to the back end of this. And I think this one is done, and we are done with what we need to do. Let me just make sure my audio is still working. Okay, good. So let me just call the SI. What's the IP address for this guy? Okay, I can just say on my this, and it's, so we have the S set by and then web O2, right? And I think everything is working fine. So let me just exit, and I think that's all. Exit, right? Yes. So I'm going to git add and git commit. What happened there? Okay, I think it worked. Where is, okay, good. So let us test this and see if it will work. So while that one is loading, like I was explaining, so this one will be for install the and configure HAProxy on your load balancing server. So we'll make it to, and then we'll use round robin algorithm, which means it should go one after the other. So if one request comes, send it to Webo 1. If the second one comes, Webo 2. Third one comes, Webo 1, like that. So 1 1 1 1. So make sure the HAProxy can be managed via its init script. So and then make sure your service servers are configured with the right host name. You know the host name, the number, and then we're able to. And then if you answer for your answer file, write a bash script that configures a new Ubuntu machine to respect above requirement. So I think that's it. So you need to do that. And while this one is loading, I think we should get on that. So okay, so we already did that. So what we do is I'll come here and write this file. I'll copy it and then paste it, and then sorry. So vi the file. So what we do next is she didn't it vi. So shebang user binary env bash, right? And then I'm going to install and put a space here, load balancer, right? And then so we'll do sudo, let me give it a space, sudo apt get dash y, verse update it, okay, and then sudo apt get dash y install HAProxy, okay, So let me see if this one worked yet. No, still loading. So it takes time actually. So let's go to the next one. So since we've done that, what we do is we want to, after we've installed it, the next thing is configure the um, we want to configure the configuration of HAProxy or HAProxy. So to do that, there's a configuration file in etc HAProxy directory called haproxy.config, that's cfg. So we need to have permission, give the user the permission. So I can just say sudo change ownership of the user to, I just say user dot user. So it's going to change it to the current user and to etc, and I called it proxy slash proxy dot configuration, right? And then the next thing is we will now want to echo the configuration, because there's so many configuration inside this file. So we just want to add the configuration of redirecting the traffic coming into the web o1 and web o2. And so to do that, we say the echo, we can create our um, echo and say the front end, and then this is the front end of the load balancer over here. So the front, anything coming from front, right? So we can give it any name and say this one is called crypto tech coder, right? Okay, so give it a tab, and or I could, let me just 1 2 3 4 4, I think 4 is okay. And then I will say you should bind all common IP to 80. So every it should pass through port 80. And then this mode HTTP is to say that we are using the layer 7 load balancing, and there's layer 4 and there's layer 7. And then we want it to use a back end. So the front end is where we design which backend to use, which is the most important part. So we'll say the back end should be or it should use the default back end should be, let's call this one app. Okay, and then we'll say the backend, sorry. So it's going to use the backend called app right now, right? And then we want to configure the stuff and say the balancing we have to use. We say balance is round robin. So it's there. So we have different type of balancing. So we're told to use round robin. And then now we need to configure, okay, the backend should have these two servers, right? So we'll have one server here, and then we'll have the second server here. So we are having these two servers for the backend. And what is the server name? So I'll give it space, and we're told to use the server names. This helps to then this, and then we get that from here. So the server name, this one is this. So I'll copy this, and I'll come here, and this one is just this one that is different, right? So that is the server name, and then the next thing is going to be the IP address. So it uses that name and then this IP address, and then we'll say port 80, and then you should perform a health check. This check means a health check on it to see if it is okay first before it gives it what the request. Okay, so this one to copy it, and then copy, and then I'll paste it here, and then I'll put the 80, and it should perform health check also on it. And once it's done, I would close this, and then I'll redirect it. Append, remember append. I'll append it to my etc HAProxy slash HAProxy dot configuration. Okay, and then at the end we're going to restart our proxy. Sudo service HAProxy restart to see if we get the error. So let me just go through it again. We understood this one is installing it. So the back end we just specify which type of algorithm we're using and declare the servers it's directing those requests to, and then the front end will tell it to use this back end, right? And then we are using layer 7. You should bind everything to port 80 and give it a name. And I think that is that for that. So um hey, sorry. So the next thing I'm going to do is let me change this one to executable. And then the next thing is I'm going to copy this file into my I'm going to copy it into my, do we have any error yet? Okay, no. I'm going to copy it into my load balancer server. So copy it into Ubuntu and the load balancer in my home directory. So we don't have that too. So yes. And then that's it. And then the next thing is you run our SSH into my load balancer, and then I'm going to run the script lb o1. Okay, so we are into our load balancer server, and then it's there, so we can pass it to confirm, and then I would run the script. So we are going to sudo apt update, and we're going to do that. So so this one is still loading, and then okay, let it finish updating and configuring. So we will push the second one and do this. So the last one will just be add a custom HTTP header with Puppet. So we just want to add the header with Puppet. Okay, so that's what we want to do here, and that shouldn't really waste our time in doing. To do that, maybe we should create another Ubuntu so we can be doing that while this one is installing. It's not supposed to take our time. It's still going. Okay, so we see into our ALX system. So I'll git add all this one. Configuration HAProxy. I'll push that one. While that one is there, I'll vi the last one. Sorry. which is this. And then so we have our shebang user binary environment, sorry, and then dash, and then we'll have our the task, sorry, comment configuration with puppets. Okay, so we want to execute files, so we do exec, and puppet will have these two guys. This one come here, and then space is always there. So we want to do what? Give it a name, http header, right? And then close that, give this, and yes, and then should we give it a tab? Yes. So I'll say it wants to run a command for us. I'll put this there, and then I'll put this in quotes. So you should run sudo apt-get update -y, put a colon, and then we say sudo apt-get install nginx. So I think this one has worked, so let me just come back here. So we are still doing that one, and then so since this one has worked, so what we then do is we then just call our load balancer directly. So I'll copy this and call -si load balancer, right, directly. So it says that it is web 01 that served us right now, right? So if we try it again, it's supposed to say web 02, right? So because we use round robin. So if I try it again, web 01, and if I try it again, web 02. So I can exit it and still try the same thing. Call -si, and then this, and then put the, and it's web 01 and still web 02, and that's it. So we're now doing this. So vi, so I've already pushed it, so let me come here and ask for what's going on. So ask for check, and then let's see this one. So this one is the puppet guy. So we'll do this nginx. You should install nginx. You can add the -y here, and then so we could add the because we need to have nginx installed first, so that's why we need to do this. So sudo, we can use set -i, and then we can make it append instead of modifying a string. So we'll say want to use this, and once you see server name, okay, once you see server name, we want to server name underscore, right? We want to append add underscore header, add header x saved saved by, and then $ host name, and then this, and then I think we ended the quotes, and into we have to give it a file. etc engine x um, sites available and default. Yeah, so I think with that we want to do that. Let me see, and then we come there, and that's for that one. And we now do sudo service engine real system service engine x restart. Okay, and we'll add comma to it as the end, and then we'll say provider is what shell, and add this to it. So once shell to help us run this command, we need shell so that we can run this command, and then sudo apt get um, this in this, so we can run more than one command. Remember, we add this colons to it, and then we just once you see server name underscore, you append add header except host name into this file, and then we start it, and that should be all for that. So ch mode 2, oh sorry, um, push, and we check our code. So basically that's it. And this one, which one worked now? Did I just see a green check somewhere? Oh, this one has worked fine and great. So ask for correction, and this one should work anytime from now. And what is wrong here? Okay, still loading. So with this, I think we are very good to go. This one has worked too, so it's just the first one that we're having issue with yet now. That is not checking, and with that we should be good and ready to go. All right, so I'll see you guys in the next one. So if we eventually have any issue, I'm very sure we'll be issueless in this because everything is working very fine. So see you in the next one, guys.